Okay, you are not going to hold back from glowing up and leveling up because other people feel intimidated by it. Hey y'all, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water because we have some talking to do. It is time to go to the next level. It is time to lock in and glow up. Y'all, I actually have my cup of coffee. This is one of my favorite mugs. It's just a motivator for me, and I have found myself gravitate into this mug because a girl got goals. Okay, anyway, I was inspired to do this video because summertime is in a couple of weeks. Actually, I don't know when you guys will see this video, but I have been thinking in the past few weeks I need to lock back in and get focused. I've been focused, but I'm ready to go to a deeper level of focusing in because I feel like the fall and winter time are going to be even more of a grind time, and there are some things that I'm looking to see happen in those times. A lot of times I notice that people like to lock in the fall and winter time because more so I see it in the winter time because they're trying to get ready for spring and summer. A lot of people like to pop out in summer, but I feel like at any time you can lock in so that you can see what you want to see. So I have some tips for y'all and just some things that I feel like can definitely help you get to the next level. Obviously, we're not always in a season of elevation and glowing up, but if you just feel in your spirit or you just feel like you're ready to go to that next level, you're tired of being where you have been, you're ready to see some new things happen in your life, you're ready to see more money, you're ready to see physically yourself change, emotionally, mentally, just go to that next level, let's get into it. These are some things that have worked for me when I have been intentional about my elevation journey, and these are things that some of these things I actually either already have them as a consistent part of my life or I'm continuing to make them a consistent part of my life. The first section is going to be, you guys, if you're ready to glow up, you need to work on your spiritual hygiene and emotional intelligence, your healing, all of the things. The physical things are important. Physical glow up is absolutely important. People judge you based off of how you look. I know you may not want to hear that, but people look at you and the first few seconds, people formulate judgments about you based off of how you show up in this world. But what I have found is most important, even though the first impression is physically how people see you, is that inner self. How you maintain your inner self, your soul, your spirit. So I have found that I got more reactions when I have been more focused on my spiritual glow up and like my healing and all of that. And not to say that I'm doing any of this for a reaction, but just like being out in public and just seeing how people respond to me, I actually noticed a greater difference with my inner healing and doing the inner work. And at first, I can remember years ago when I first started my spiritual journey and just locking in, I went through a season where I basically kind of like just had to shed old relationships, shed old things. I went into like isolation, and that started my first pivotal moment of leveling up, glowing up, elevating. Prior to that, honestly, I can't even say that I knew that glowing up, leveling up was really a thing. I mean, yes, you hear that, but when you actually start to step into it and walk into it, it makes all the difference. You're able to like grasp the concept and everything. So when I first went into my time of spiritual awakening and just actually sitting down and getting into that quiet time and praying and speaking to God, and just allowing myself to be healed and worked on and worked through. Once that season was over and I got back out, and when I say got back out, I just mean I wasn't really in isolation anymore. I kind of was being thrust back out to start new things and do new things. I started to notice that people would like stare at me. And it may sound like I feel like you have to really experience it to understand. I never noticed people would stare at me before, but this was like different. It was like when people would look at me, they just saw this like angelic glow around me or something. People would literally just stare at me like they were in awe, and I had never experienced that before. And the only thing that I could really say that changed, because even physically, I can't really say that I went through like a huge drastic change, but I knew that I had been working on myself spiritually and healing and emotionally. And it's just like when you go through that spiritual time of being cleansed and healed, when you go back out and people see you again, it's like this glow. It's like your spirit is lighter, and that really shows physically. Like when they say that inner beauty and all of that stuff, it is a real thing. When your inner is glowing and beautiful, it translates to your physical also, and it's a spiritual thing. So this is why you can look at somebody who may have all of the makeup on, they may have their hair laid, everything laid, they may be best dressed, and you can still not feel like it's giving what it needs to give. Not to say that they don't look good physically, but it's just like, okay, they have those things done, versus you can look at somebody who, yeah, they may not have everything all the way down to a T, but let's say their hair is done, they have on a cute little outfit, it may not be designer or this and that, but you look at them and you see something about them, like, what is it? Like, I want to get to know this person. This person has something about them that is drawing me to them, and you may not even realize, but it is that inner part of them. It's that spiritual aspect of them that you are seeing that looks attractive. You may not physically be seeing it, but your spirit can identify that there is something about this person. And so if you are tapped in, you will be able to recognize that on other people. Even if you're not tapped in, I noticed in that season when I first came in, it was like people were just like captivated. Now I will say, as I continue to elevate and go to higher realms, now it's like I can go in public and I get both reactions. I get both, like, people are interested, they want to know. And then I also will get some reactions where people are like, you know, I feel like, I don't need to go, super in detail. But that just comes with it. That just comes with leveling up. That comes with glowing up. That comes with going to the next level. But I started to notice reactions, period, when I changed from the inside. And again, those people may not even know why they are reacting, but it's something about when you start to heal and radiate that light, it is going to trigger people. It is going to trigger people differently, even the people that may be around you. This is why when you come around now after you've been healing and going through your journey and process, people may not receive you in the best way anymore, but it is okay. You are not going to hold back from glowing up and leveling up because other people feel intimidated by it. If they don't want to level up and they don't want to glow up, they have every right not to, but you are not going to hold yourself back because of other people. So some of the ways that I have poured into myself emotionally and spiritually is I have to have my devotional time. Even if it's not every single day, the goal is to do it every single day. The goal is to pray every single day for me. Now, you have to make up your own goals, but what works for me, what makes me feel good is attempting to do these things every single day. And again, you may miss some days. You may be busy on one day and forget, but again, it's about consistency. It's about continue to show up when you know you can show up, and give yourself grace and keep trying each and every day. So prayer for me, I went through a season of heavy fasting during that time when I really glowed up, and it just like frees you from all that emotional baggage and the spiritual stuff that we can build up each and every day. I noticed that I started to accelerate like in my gifts and just dreaming and just being motivated, and it just me forward really quickly. It helped me to lock in and tap in. I literally started to tap in once I started to do these things. I was journaling a lot. And back then, I was doing a lot of free-flowing journaling. So when I say free-flowing journaling, just have a journal and empty pages, and I was just going in. As of lately, I find myself going to more of like those prompted journals, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. What I recommend is getting a journal if you don't know how to just kind of free flow. Some people can just journal and get insight, get direction, get what they need from their journaling sessions on their own. But to be honest, if that is something new for you, if you're not used to going in, if you're not used to going deep, if you're not used to tapping in, you're not in tune with your emotions, and I'm not here to judge you. It's nothing wrong with coming from where you're coming from. I have been there. But if you're not used to that, it can be kind of hard to just go sit down and just start writing how you feel on a piece of paper. So what I find is that prompted journals that come with things for you to write and specific things for you to focus on, that may help for me in this season. This is a journal that I want to share with you guys. This journal, y'all, I'm trying to hide my nails because the first time in I think 3 years, I don't have them done. And the reason I'm actually hiding them is because the acrylic is still on my nails, like I'm trying to get it off. So this book has been so pivotal in this season of my life. So this is Soul Healing, a guided journal for Black women by Sharon Lynn. I actually found this journal on Amazon, and it says prompts to help you reflect, grow, and embrace your power. I have literally cried from this journal, cried from sitting down and answering the prompts of this journal. Just things that I personally needed to go through and really visit. Yes, it's uncomfortable to visit those things that you are not used to addressing, or you just honestly may not want to address because it hurts to heal. But let me tell you, when you do actually start healing, it is so attractive. It helps this like lightness come upon you because you're not carrying that heavy weight. You're not carrying the unforgiveness and the bitterness and all the things. It just starts to free you. It is so attractive. This is why when you do heal, you have to guard yourself, because people are going to try to attach to you because they see something in you that they want. We all want to be healed. We all want to be free and flowing. So that is something to keep in mind as you start on your inner work and your journey of healing and everything. But that journal goes deep, but it's like not so deep to where you feel like I can't do this every day. And so I find myself loving to go into that journal. Again, I haven't been every single day with that journal, but I have been pretty consistent, like to the point where I'm already thinking about what am I going to do once I finish the journal. And if you are somebody who does not have access to a therapist, or if you are somebody who does not trust therapy, let's be honest, everybody does not trust therapy. It does take some time for some people to find that therapist for them. I feel like journaling can be a good way to get out your feelings. And if you are paranoid that people will get your thoughts and all of that, you can always rip it up. You can always, get rid of it. But take the time to work on those things. Take the time to address those things. I find that when I am working on myself and healed and, continuing on the process of bettering myself emotionally and in that way, I respond better to people. I'm not as quick to and go off and snap back. It has helped me to become more patient in how I react and, respond to situations and things like that. It has helped me to present myself in the world in a better way that is better for us all, okay? A lot of the things that you see today with people lashing out and dealing with a lot of things, I truly believe that those things can be dealt with and helped by just them having a good outlet, them having that space to just take care of that inner part of themselves. So if you feel like you don't have access to somebody, you don't trust speaking to anybody, I get it. Journaling has helped me a lot. We aren't always taught to tap into our inner selves, especially if you're coming from a background like I feel like most people that look like me come from. We aren't taught to sit still and be soft and go through our emotions, and we're not taught those things. And so I love this movement of soft life. And I'm not talking about the soft life where you're dependent on a man to give you a soft life, but really just women embracing that I want to just, slow down, and I want to experience good things in my life. I want to take care of myself. I don't want to burn myself out because that is what has been expected of me all these years. That's what other people want me to do. I want to enjoy my life. I want to relax. If anything is in my life that is bringing me down, that is making me feel weighed down and not in a good way, it's not helping me, I don't want any parts of it. I don't want any parts of it. And it's okay for me to have boundaries. It's okay for me to not feel like I have to overperform and overwork myself to make others happy. As a matter of fact, if they aren't happy, that is none of my business, because this is my life and I have to do what's best for me. So I'm loving this movement. I'm loving this era, and I hope it is here to stay, because you are worthy of living the life you want to live, okay? And you have to just fight against the forces that want to keep you from having that life. Anyway, let's move into the next thing. So guys, this has been something that is pretty new for me. It might sound a little sad because it is important to read, but I have not been a person that has put a lot of time into reading, and that is because I'm a visual person. Y'all, it really takes a discipline for me to sit down and just read. So I have started. I'm not somebody who reads every single day, but in just me starting to read, even if it's just one book every month or a month and a half for me to finish a book. Like I just finished actually a book. I think it was over 500 pages, but it took me maybe like a month and a half. But that book was good. It was really good. And I found that I actually felt really good reading. And reading actually does introduce you to other things. Now, I personally like a lot of self-help books that are helping me to learn things and glow up and propel. This is a book I'm reading. This is Green Eyes by Mariah Perry. And I actually watch her YouTube, love her YouTube, a lot of good wisdom and nuggets. And this goes into how to deal with jealousy and envy in your life and in the workplace. And it has just different scenarios that you can take some wisdom from it. Love books like this that is helping me to know how to navigate this world, helping me to know how to navigate people and situations. Especially when you start to glow up, things change. The way people receive you and perceive you change. I've had situations where people try to test me to see if they can get a reaction out of me because they may feel insecure to me now that I've blown up, now that I've gone to the next level. So you need to know how to navigate different things. And also so you don't feel alone. You're not the only one going through a lot of different situations. And so when you can find books and things that help you to understand these situations, I watch a lot of YouTube pages that have helped me to understand why I'm getting certain reactions and certain things. And it has brought knowledge, more knowledge and wisdom to me on my glow up journey. It's not just me experiencing these things. This is a process. These are some of the things that just happen. So having books in your life that you will read. Don't just buy books to buy books. If you're not into it, you're not into it. Don't force it. Find something that you enjoy reading and that brings value to your life. And it's cool to read fiction and all those things, but I personally am in a place where I just like self-help stuff. That is what I find myself going to a lot. But I also like books with drama in it. Like it's self-help, but it's real life. And it has a little bit of, pizzazz drama in it. Okay. Okay. Okay, you guys, so let's continue to move on. You want to protect your space, protect your energy, especially as you level up and elevate, because people are going to try you. You're going to notice that as you go to the next level physically, you're going to experience tests in life. You're going to experience, I feel like it's been a lot of tests, different trials and things. So you want to be strong enough to be able to withstand these things and staying tapped in, working on your spiritual hygiene, and also that emotional side of you is good, because you cannot, let's say you want to go to high places, high spaces. If you notice people that are in those spaces, how do they act? How do they react to things? How do they handle situations? People do change as they elevate, because you have to be able to maneuver and not say don't be authentically you, but as you elevate, you don't do the same things you were doing when you were at a certain level. So yeah, you have to be tapped in. Also, as I continue to pour into my spiritual side and my spiritual hygiene, I notice that I start to get more ideas divinely given to me. What I need to be doing in each season, business ideas, things to work on, things to help me build wealth throughout generations. I feel like that's why it's so many things trying to grab our attention, because if we don't pour into that area, yeah, you can still get through life, but you may be missing out on some information that could be pretty helpful if you just sit down for a moment, tap in, get what you need, and then go for it. If you are trying to elevate and you are not comfortable with isolation, and some people freak out when they hear isolation, you need community. Yes, you do need community. But in order to elevate, you are going to have to isolate for a season, okay? This doesn't mean you can't talk to anybody. This doesn't mean you can't talk to anybody, but you need that time, spending time with yourself, being comfortable with yourself. Obviously, if you feel like it's an emergency, it's something serious, you need support, reach out for support from people. But you're gonna have to be comfortable going through a season where it's just you and God. It was me and God for a season. And that season was where I propelled so fast, where I gained so much. And it helped me to come back out in community and things and know how to navigate and move. And again, know how to do things for it in this new time of elevation and everything. It's true what they say about isolation before elevation. That is a real thing, and I've experienced that in many seasons. Right before it's time for me to elevate, it's like certain things will happen, like the people that aren't meant to go to that next level, the relationships will fall apart and things will just go differently. All right, you guys, so I'm about to end this portion of the series, the spiritual hygiene and working on yourself emotionally and healing. Be sure to check out part 2.